So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. As you can tell, I got my lucky shamrocks on. I do have a lot of Irish in me on both sides of my family. I got a lot of other things too, but Irish is on both sides, so I always like to proclaim that one first. So St. Patrick's Day is always a fun day. I love celebrating it. I love dressing up. Last night I had on my fun shamrock pants and my lucky shirt. The trivia night was great. It was a lot of fun. I was a little nervous, I will admit, about having trivia night before I had to speak. But you know what? I went home and got a good night's sleep, woke up ready to go this morning. So I guess being around you guys last night actually helped me. So I want to talk a little bit about the luck of the Irish. It's a term that originated in the 1800s during the gold and silver rush. Some of the most successful miners of that time were of Irish descent. Now the phrase "luck of the Irish" was not actually a good phrase at that time. The other miners weren't fans of the Irish and felt like it wasn't fair. They were getting more gold than them, and so they said it was dumb luck of the Irish. They didn't want to acknowledge their hard work, and so it was kind of this snide comment. But over the years, you can't learn about Ireland and all the things that the Irish people have faced without knowing that they got luck, that they've overcome some amazing hardships. And of course they have their fables and stories about the leprechaun and the pot of gold, and then you have the four-leaf clover. So the luck of the Irish became a good term, a positive term, fairly quickly, and you can't go into a store right now without seeing something that says the luck of the Irish on it. We all have experienced times in our lives where we might comment, man, I'm having some really good luck. Things are really going my way, We've also all said, man, I'm having some really bad luck. Why is everything happening to me like this? So I've had a little bit of that, more than my share, I'd say, this year. I've had the good luck, and I want to talk about the good luck first, because I have two adult brothers, one biological, one adopted, who are high-functioning autism. They both have always lived at home with my parents, and I kind of took over as their advocate and their caregiver this year, and I've been able to get them placed into an independent living situation. I knew I wanted this for them. I knew they wanted it for themselves. Mom and Dad kind of had a hard time letting them go, so I had to kind of intervene. I had no idea what this was going to evolve into. All I could do was go at it with love and try and get as much information as I could. And we met these amazing caseworkers and these amazing people that in December they reached out and said, we found a place. Because I thought they were going to have to live in a little tiny apartment, and apartments are expensive right now, in case you don't know. And they have to pay for it themselves. They get staffing for free, but they have to pay for their living. And so I was kind of concerned, but I just kept trusting. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to come. And they call and they say, we bought a house, and we're starting this new program. It's the first program of its kind in the nation, where they are taking high-functioning adults and putting them in a house with minimal staff, and it's more of a smart house that has all this tech support so that they can live independently without having somebody living in the house with them all the time. And they wanted my two brothers to be the first to experience this. And the house happened to be 6 minutes from our house. And it's a big, beautiful 3-bedroom house with a finished basement. They completely furnished it for them, including a 70-inch flat screen TV in the basement. They wanted it to be 3 gentlemen, so they had to find that third guy. And we went on an interview with one young man, and it wasn't a real good fit. And I was feeling kind of nervous about it, but I just kept trusting and praying and trusting and praying. And then the caseworker reaches out and he goes, I got another guy I want you to meet. Can we meet again? And we did. And this guy was perfect. He was around the same age as both my brothers. They had a lot in common. And we were just like, oh, this is great. Is this guy? And he said, well, it's going to take a miracle, but we're going to try and make this happen. We haven't ruled out the other guy yet, so we're gonna try and make this happen. So Again, we're praying, you know, I'm telling my brothers, let's pray guys, we're gonna pray if this is gonna happen, if it's supposed to happen. And sure enough, we get the call a week later, they get to have the roommate. So we got them moved in about 3 weeks ago. They love their roommate, they love their house. I have never seen my brothers so happy. They are grocery shopping, you know, picking out their own groceries, they're taking care of their own stuff. My brother put the vacuum together and he's doing all this housework and he's so proud of himself. And it's just been an amazing transition. It's just with one good luck after another, you know, and so loving that. But at the same time, you know, because the universe likes to test us. You know, as you guys know, my daughter had her car accident the first weekend of February. Just driving down Veterans Memorial and, you know, on her way to have dinner with her best friend, all in a good mood, singing her songs, and a lady just plows into the side of her, flips her upside down. Totals her car. Like I said, she has 3 herniated discs. She just started back at college, by the way, going for psychology. So brain fog has not been her friend. She's taken 5 classes. So, you know, it was a lot of, why, Mom? Why is this happening, Mom? And the whole filing the claim, getting the settlement going, that became complicated. Getting doctors became complicated. We were just hitting roadblock after roadblock. And every night, now I just recently moved in with her. So I told her, I said, I think I know why I was meant to move in sooner. Because literally the day after I moved in, she had her accident. So I was like, okay, I was meant to be here. And every night we sit and talk about why is this happening? Why am I experiencing this? And I let her express her feelings and her emotions. And I tell her that it's okay that she's feeling this way, it's normal. But then I tell her, let's think about it in another way. This is a growth experience. This is something you're going to learn and grow through. And you're going to come out a different person on the other side of this. I'm sorry you're having to go through this, but this is life. We don't get to always know when these things are going to happen. Not everything's in our control. And we have to see it as a learning moment. And the more we do, we're going to come out the other side stronger. And so we've just been pushing, you know, like we're going to get through this. And so we finally get the settlement. We go get the car. This was last weekend. We picked the car up on Tuesday. So things are going good. We found a car we liked. She was also having some issues at her job. So she decided to transfer schools for her mental health because her coworker was kind of being verbally abusive and it was unhealthy for her. With everything else going on, she's like, Mom, I think I need to switch jobs. I'm like, then do it. Your mental health's important. So she has been at JL Mudd in O'Fallon for the last week. Well, if you haven't heard, JL Mudd got hit, one of the hardest places that got hit in the hailstorm. They had baseball-sized hail. And so after my daughter was done in the hallway with the kids doing the tornado drill, and kids crying and screaming because the sound of that hail hitting the school and it bust out windows at the school, it was a very scary, traumatic experience. But my daughter's really good with working with special needs kids and just kids that are having emotional breakdowns. So she was immediately, you know, cuddling and loving these kids as they're crying. And she said, we got through that, Mom, and then we walk outside and every car in the parking lot, windshields are smashed out. Cars are just covered in hail damage, including her new car that she had owned for 2 days. So she calls me just crying, Mom, why is this happening? You know, and I get off the phone and I'm at the shop with my best friend of 30 years and I just start crying. I'm like, why is this happening? You know, I've been really strong through all this and I've been pushing, but come on already. You know, like, what is this? And then I let myself feel that emotion because that's a normal human emotion. We're going to feel that way. But then I had to tell myself, okay, this was Mother Nature. We live in the Midwest. You know, what are the odds? The school that she worked at a week before didn't get hit at all. So if she had still been there, it would have been fine. But I can't think about that because that doesn't matter. She was where she was and what happened, happened. And we can either accept it and move past it or we can sit in the why. I couldn't do that with her. So I came home and I gave her a big hug and I let her cry it out and I said, okay. I said, here's what we're going to do. we're going to call, I'm going to find, first thing in the morning, I'm going to find a place, we're going to get this windshield replaced, and you're going to be back in business. We'll worry about the other stuff later, but we're going to get the windshield replaced because she can't, drive it with the windshield up. And I said, we're just going to move forward. I said, it's just another challenge, honey. It's just another, path that we're going down. I have control over these things. But, old me, younger me would have been like, this is bad luck. What is happening to me? She even made the comment, Mom, I think the universe is just punishing me. How many of us have felt that way? How many of us have felt like, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. Luck is energy. Luck is something that is around us all the time. Good luck, bad luck, it's a flow. Life has ebbs and flows. We have to roll with them each, We have to understand, though, that we can create our own energy. So when our brain is throwing those thoughts at us of what did I do wrong, why is this happening to me, we have to go, okay, brain, I hear what you're saying, but that's not who I am. Unexpected things are always going to happen. There isn't a human on this planet immune to this. I don't care how rich they are, how wise they are, we are all going to have unexpected things that are out of our control happen to us. So we can't look at it as, oh, woe is me, these bad things are happening. We have to see it as this is the human experience. And when we can accept that, we gain wisdom, we gain strength, we can plow through whatever life throws at us, knowing that we are divine spiritual beings. And we have the power inside of us to change our thought about a situation. Let yourself feel the thought, recognize it, acknowledge it, and then move past it. Okay, I see this, I know I feel this way, but this is not who I am. This experience isn't happening to me, this experience is happening around me. Who I am is not changing. So we have to keep that mindset. And then we have to think about how we talk about it to our friends and family. Because it's easy to be like, oh, you wouldn't believe the things that have happened to me this week. Oh my gosh, and I'm not saying you can't vent. Venting is good. We need to get things out, but we need to vent and then done. Like, we can't keep venting and venting and venting and venting, because all we're doing is stirring up that energy, stirring up that negative thought process. And we're just bringing it around us. It's just going to keep hanging out. We're going to be stuck in that tornado of all this negative stuff because we keep talking about it. So I told her, I said, instead of saying I'm having bad luck, say I'm having a growing experience. I'm having a learning experience. That's how I want you to talk to your friends about it. You wouldn't believe what's happening to me. I'm really learning right now. You wouldn't believe what just happened last night. I'm really growing. Man, my growing pains are here, but I'm going to get through this, So how we word our situation to people changes the energy around the situation, changes how you feel about it. I mean, I know we've all been through times in school where we were being taught something we didn't like. If math was hard for you or English was hard for you, you're like, oh, I'm dreading this class, this is hard. But you learned it. It may not always have been fun, but you figured it out. Sometimes learning's hard, sometimes growing's hard. We just have to face forward and know that we can get through any challenge that comes our way. We have to let go of the attachment to the outcome. We can't always think we can do all the right things, plan all the right stuff, and it's going to come out how I want it because I've planned it all and I know what's going to do, what's going to happen. No, we have to let go of that attachment. We don't have that kind of control. That's not how the human experience works. So with acceptance comes the wisdom, growth, strength, and then we prepare ourselves for our next experience. As we've talked about many times, we're leveling up. You're leveling up every experience, every time. You fight through it, you change your thought process, you change the way you talk about it, you're leveling up. And you're preparing yourself for that next challenge. Because they're never going to stop coming. I'm sorry to tell you. This is the human experience.